You're welcome back to the Naija Filmmaker, a podcast for us to talk about Nigerian filmmakers, their films, and how we can build a diverse and functional industry. I'm your host, Selegot. On this episode, my guest is Kanso Ogbolu. He's a motion designer, filmmaker, and illustrator. He's the creator of the animated horror series Freakthefuckout, which has over 40 episodes and comics. He's also the creative director of OBK Studios, a motion design and film studio that has worked with a bunch of big-name clients. We talk about his background, his plans for FTFO, and hopes for the animation industry. If you're a new listener, you're welcome and I hope you enjoy. Nice to meet you, Kanso. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Kanso Ogbolu, and I am creative director of OBK Studios. I am an animator or motion designer, illustrator, filmmaker, content creator, and a brand developer.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Thank you.
You've been doing really good work. I've seen your social media pages, and I guess something that has brought you a lot of notoriety is your animated series. Is it so? I don't know how to say it out loud. Is it Freakthefuckout essentially?
Actually, yes. But if you have a problem with the word "fuck," you can easily just say FTFO and.
Okay, FTFO. That's good. Can you talk about how you started out in animation?
I mean, I've always been interested in animating stuff since I was young, watching cartoons, growing up with all of that. So there was this fascination of, how it was done. How did they do these things, I wanted to make mine because I had my own stories to tell, but obviously I didn't have the means. And I was really, really interested in 3D animation. Okay. It was what I wanted to do. So I bought I remember buying Maya, 3D software from a marketplace in Nigeria in Lagos here, Computer Village. And then I installed it and I was intimidated by the interface.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
So 2001.
Okay.
Yeah. So I bought another software, a rival software to that one, 3D Studio Max. Yeah. And the interface was also intimidating. And I was like, I can't keep running away. I have to learn one thing.
Yeah.
And so I picked that up and I started learning. And I started designing stages. So I studied architecture.
Yeah.
So I started using it for architecture-related stuff, set designs, interior designs, exterior designs, and all of that.
Yeah.
And to give an edge over every other person, I had to learn animating with it. So to do walkthroughs and, interior walkthroughs, exterior walkthroughs, and all of that.
Yeah.
One thing led to another, and I stopped practicing architecture, and I moved into advertising instead, where by then I'd already, I was doing a couple of 3D animations, as side hustles, and as I put these stuff out there, these works out there, other people would, hey, can you do this? I started getting small, very tiny work from there, but I was also using it to practice. I thought I knew what I was doing then, so I just kept on going at it.
Yeah.
By the time I entered, by the time I got into advertising, I had learned a bit of 2D animation as well, so I was mixing the two. Slowly but surely, I eventually left 3D because it takes a longer time to complete and do all of that. And I moved on to 2D, learned a bunch of new software, and just, here we are today. Yeah. So I would say, I think the more people gave me work to do, the more I was put on the spot to learn something new. I would say, oh yeah, you know what, I can do it. I can't do it too.
Yeah.
No, but I would go to YouTube and learn it, and it will stick. And that's how I learned. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you come up with the characters for the animated series Tata?
Right. Okay, so FTFO. Okay, so FTFO first and foremost was born out of, it was created sometime in March of 2017. I think March 17, 2017. That was when the first episode landed my personal Instagram page. And it was just born out of the fact that I love horror, the horror genre. And growing up, there was a lot of horror in Nigerian entertainment, But as time went on, I think maybe the country got too depressing, so people decided to make more comedies to get people out of, so the horror genre died, like a total complete death. Nobody was creating anything horror again. So when I created it, I was still working in advertising, and I didn't have the big money for any big budget film, or I didn't even know then how to really shoot. I was still young in production, so I didn't know how to shoot, but I knew how to animate. So I was like, you know what? Since I can animate and be one army, let me create these short 1 minute episodes of mythologies, scary myths that we have in Nigeria. And so I started. So I created 14 1-minute episodes, and put it out there, and the reception was amazing. Tata came into the picture, I think that was season 3. By then I was about 26 episodes in already. I gathered a fan base of sorts. And I don't know, it just came to me. I didn't even have a name for him yet when he was created. I just created the episode, and the episode basically blew up, and people wanted to see him more. So I remember one of my friends, it was like about 3 people who combined to name him Tata. Full name, he has a full name, like a long Igbo name, but the short form is Tata. We're like 3 people who came up with the whole name. And then I for its backstory, I got a friend of mine, Hillary, to write a backstory for him, and another friend of mine to create it into a comic series, and it's currently on the page now. So now it's a fully fleshed out character, as opposed to what I created when I first started.
Okay, and how long does it take to make a 1-minute episode?
Okay, so when I first started, I was still working in 9 to 5, so I couldn't really, and then the animation quality was dumbed down because, one, I was still learning the 2D, ish, and 2, I couldn't really, because of my 9 to 5, I couldn't really do what I really wanted to do. So then it used to take me 4 days to create 1-minute episode. Then when I now had time a bit, it would take 2 days to create 1-minute episode with the same quality. But as the season went on and the quality became better, and I wanted to be submitting these things for awards and cinema experiences and all of that, I couldn't be doing all that crap. I had to upgrade the quality. And so with the upgrading quality, it started taking 2 weeks to create 1-minute episode. And if I'm free, it would take about a week to do the same.
Okay. So do you have a team, or you do everything by yourself?
So when I first started, it was pretty much me versus the crowd. So after like 5 episodes, it's not that I ran out of stories. I just wanted engagement. So I would tell people in the comment sections to write their own short lines and stand a chance to see it created as episodes.
Yeah.
So that's how it started first. Season 1 was built on that. Season 2, half of it was built on that as well. But as time went on, when things started to get serious, I realized that one, I had to copyright the name Freakthefuckout so that nobody would come out to it. I had to start doing things seriously, legal stuff, merch, and then you can't really sell episodes based on crowd source, because somebody in the future can come now and say, hey, I created this, where's my royalty? So I had to start getting dedicated writers and all of that. So I have at least one person I can go to, and she would write an episode. She's ready and stuff. I have another person who illustrates the comics. I have some people who can illustrate environments and all of that, but most of the bulk of the animation and illustration is on me here. Okay. But I don't do writing again. Writing is I don't write again. I can have ideas, but somebody's going to flesh it out. It's my go-to writer.
Yeah. So what tools do you use?
I use Adobe Illustrator to illustrate the characters, the environment, and the elements. I use Adobe After Effects to bring those things to life, make them move, basically animate. And I also do some level of sound design within the same Adobe After Effects. For voiceovers, if there's any, the people usually record in their places and submit to me, and I do an audio cleanup with Adobe Audition, bring it in, and then but where there isn't any voice acting whatsoever, I go to Audio Jungle or Filmio to download soundtracks and put it. I also have a library of horror themes and sound effects.
Okay, so do you have like a long game for the FTFO series?
Yes, I'm happy it has gotten where it has gotten to, especially this year, where one of the episodes exploded, and Trevor Noah noticed it, Gabriel Union, Childish Gambino, everybody, it was crazy. So
was it the one with the father
he gathered
and the daughter?
Yes, exactly. It's so many people, and the following grew from 5,000 I was managing to almost 50.
Wow,
now.
That's amazing.
So currently how I make money from FTFO is at comic conventions. So I sell merchandise. This is an example. For instance, it's a mouse pad. And there's several other things. So T-shirts, USB and flash drives, laptop bags. That's how money comes into the system. The long game now is for the comics that have been online. I plan to print them. Season 5, for instance, now is going to be completely live action, not animation, and I intend to do it properly, like shooting proper short films, and it to be an anthology, so that I can see if I can sell to streaming services or at least charge a premium for such premium work. The longer end game rather would be to make full feature films and put in the cinemas, to make longer form animation. So instead of your 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm talking 15 minutes, 22 minutes, do an anthology and put it into streaming services like Netflix, for instance. So it would be reminiscent of things like Love, Death, and Robots, currently on Netflix as well. It's an anthology of crazy stories and all of that. So we're looking for these guys to come and invest, basically. So, but till then, we'll be doing what we need to do to get the word out there.
Yeah, and I saw, I think today you posted the video of Tata in live action, and he turned the lady to, was it Suya or something?
Yeah,
it looked really good.
So, thank you. So that's my way of. So I found out because in all of these things, you kind of have to be serious when you are looking at your target audience. when last year Comic Con, I realized that despite the fact that Tata is a completely original fictional character, there are people who are legit scared of it. So I had a friend of mine who is also coincidentally the writer now of FTFO, a lot of FTFO series. She dressed up as Tata last year at the comic convention, and a lot of people ran away from her. A lot of people who knew who she was supposed to be ran away from her. There are people legit scared of it right now. So there's a problem with marketability. If you are marketing T-shirts and USB flash drives and merchandise based on that character, and he's the Mickey Mouse to our FTFO, basically. It's our mascot. So basically just to increase or rather improve his marketability, I'm making these short videos of him relating to people. Sometimes he might kill, sometimes he'll just do basic toddler stuff, and then hopefully it works, at least in anticipation for live action that hopefully come out this year.
So is it easier to do the live action, like Tata in live action, than in the animation? Which one is easier?
I think it depends. The animation sometimes can be hard. Live action, the model is already down. You understand? The model is there. I don't have to redraw anything. The model is there ready. It has been rigged, so I just have to change the car to fit the space. The animation of that character, however, might be hard, but there are various methods that you can use to cut down animation time for 3D characters. So I'd say the 3D one is easier. That's live action. 2D one, you have to draw from scratch, no matter what view and all of that. So yeah, it takes a longer time.
Yeah. So I guess in animation, a lot of the skills are transferable to VFX. I saw some VFX work you did. So is this something that you're really doing, or you're just experimenting?
No, I actually do VFX, especially for commercials. So I haven't been called for film, or if I shoot something for myself, I include VFX in it. But most of my VFX work are in commercials. I can say, I would like to say transferable. Yeah. I mean, there are certain principles that go across board when it comes to motion design. So yeah, you can use those principles on both types of animation, 2D or 3D. The way physics, the way things are supposed to bounce or not bounce or react with other elements, texturing, lighting, and all of that. Yeah, those things are universal, even when it comes to real life. You understand? So you just have to figure out how to translate it into those animations. But I think that's where it stops. So many things in VFX don't happen in 2D animation and vice versa. For instance, compositing, where you have to get a green screen or all of that. So yeah, I had to learn that one to the hard way, and I have it now. I have the skill set now, but I'm still learning. Even the live actions that I'm doing with Tata now are some form of learning for me. I don't really just do anything for doing sake. For instance, now the original ending to this Tata that I just released was they would just be doing push-ups, and that was the end of that. Yeah. But I wanted to learn to break or shatter a human being and turn that human being into meat or something. So I went on YouTube and found a tutorial on how to, break a human being and shatter or break objects rather. Yeah. And I found it, I learned it, and I did it, and I used that video as a way of learning. So now if someone comes to me and asks me to help them shatter an object VFX, at least I can say I can do it now. So yeah.
And I guess it's all these like little exercises you give yourself that you end up kind of pretty much getting your head around the bigger, more complex tasks.
Yes, that's that. I think that's the only way you can do it, because if you wait around, um, so I mean, there are two ways to do it. Two ways I do it. One, if there's no job on my table at the particular moment, I do these small, bite-sized tasks to figure out how to learn one or two things. But once there's a job on my table, I also use that job to learn another thing, so that the job I'm releasing or the work I'm releasing into the public is better than the last one that I did. If I have to be trying at least one new thing. I can only get better that way.
Yeah. With the animation, like, do you like regularly chat with other people doing what you're doing?
Yes, so there is a community. It's called Animation Nigeria. You can find them on Instagram. We also have a WhatsApp group. We are in there as well. Like you said, there are not a lot of people. I to be very honest, I do not think that they are up to 100 is putting it nicely. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. But let me say 100. Well, you see why that is bad? If I'm telling you that there are not up to 100 good animators in Nigeria. Nigeria is 198 to 200 million. You can see how bad. It's terrible, So you have a bunch of people out there doing their own thing that are not in this community. But even if you brought everybody together, we can't all sit down and say we want to make this thing, because everybody has their own agenda. But yeah, there is a community. It's called Animation Nigeria, and they've tried. So a lot of them are doing trainings for up and comers, and all of that, mentorship programs and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully one day will be saturated enough, because Nigeria, the only thing that helps us is our numbers, and in a very good sane environment, our numbers would have taken us to so many heights.
Yeah,
but here we are. Yeah.
So what would you say is the biggest barrier to entry?
The lack of dedication.
So it's not even equipment.
One from, oh my God, no. Oh wow, no. You can get the crappiest laptop and start. That's no excuse at all. People animate on their iPads.
Yeah.
People use their phones to create apps. People use their phones. If you have a Galaxy Note, I'm not even saying go and get Note 10 or Note 7. As long as it has a pen, you can do it. There are apps for it. Do it on your phone. If you want to go a step higher, do it on your tab. If you want to even go a step higher, get a 150,000 naira laptop. You are going to install lightweight software like Blender or Adobe Animate, and start or Photoshop. Photoshop now has animation possibilities, so you can learn your frame by frame animation. There's no excuse, not a single one. So I think the biggest barriers, the two. One is the lack of dedication, in that it's too easy to get tired. It's easy to just say, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it again, it's too hard. And that's the end. Drop out completely and go and do something that's buzz, you've gotten your results.
Yeah.
With animation, however, in the beginning is annoying. But because you know where you're going to, you can see it in your head. If you keep going, you will always get to a point in your life where you snap your fingers and you've illustrated, snap your other finger and boom, you've animated. And you don't even know how you did it.
Yeah. Because
it has become automatic. But yeah, that lack of dedication in the beginning. The second obstacle would be ignorance. Yes, ignorance on a lot of people's parts. So one, ignorance on the parents' parts. Their children, I want my child to be an architect or an engineer or a lawyer or a this or a that. All those very normal cliche, forgetting that everybody is moving. This 2020 has seen the biggest shift in everything,
Yeah.
You have really now highly relevant what do you call it, occupations and stuff, and you have ones that everybody has been, apart from your doctors, nobody else has been working. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you're an engineer, you're building a bridge, there was a time where you had to stay in your house. You understand? So, and people that are running ITs and ISPs, and they were living la vida loca, chopping money. So there's also the ignorance on clients' parts that think that is it not just do this? Is it not just to draw and to come out on your screen? But no, it was once upon a time where it used to take me a month to do the things I used to do now. Now, an average commercial 1 minute will take me 10 days to a week.
Yeah.
And you tell some people that, and they'll be like, how? You understand? Are you running faster than your shadow? But once upon a time, it used to take me a month. I had to do what I had to do for it to take me a week, 2 weeks. You understand? So that ignorance from clients, because they don't believe that they should be paying millions of naira for this, is it not just? Yeah. So those are major barriers. Yeah. The understanding is not there.
And how do you close that gap? Because at the end of the day, you still charge what you want to charge. So how do you get them to see from your point of view?
Okay, so luckily, I'd also like to thank this community, this small community, Animation Nigeria. It's not that we sat down and brought out some sort of standard. I'm sure some people still take, cheap and stuff like that. But here's what it is. The truth of the matter is, and it has never failed, if something is good, really good, it won't be cheap. You can deceive yourself and go out there. You can try another person and they will take 10 years to do your work. You can try another person and they will give it to you in 1 week, but it will be complete crap. You can do whatever you want, but you will find yourself circling back to the one good thing that you denied yourself in the first place. So you will always get to a point in your life where you won't struggle. You are looking for work, nobody should get me wrong, but you won't struggle, you won't beg, because you also know your worth. You understand? You have a lot of work to prove that you have, you have clientele. You have people that are out that can testify that this person can do this thing very well. So with the word of mouth and with the examples that they can clearly see of stuff that you've done, if you say you want to charge 1 million naira for the work, you have more clout, more leverage. You have more, because there's proof. It's right there. Nobody has said anything bad about you outside. All reviews are fantastic. You deliver all the work on time and the work comes out good. And, you even have situations where the work has the insights, when they look into the insights for sales and stuff, it has improved sales. Everything is actually really, really good. You really don't expect, a Ferrari to be $10,000. I mean, and it didn't just start, like that. You built it. Once upon a time, you were collecting, crap money, and as time went on, and you built yourself and your portfolio, started doing, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think there'll always be the customers that are willing to bring out the money, and they're always going to be the ones that will try to, squeeze a deal out of it. And it's just for you to make up your mind who you're going to listen to, Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. With your work, it's kind of like animation, motion graphics. Are they the same thing?
Okay, animation and motion graphics. How would I put it in the simplest terms? Motion graphics is a type of animation. So animation is the elder brother. Yeah. Basically, animation is moving images. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Images that are moving. That's pretty much what it is. So motion graphics now, comes under. You have subcategories: 3D animation, 2D animation, motion graphics, stop motion animation. Several reasons. So motion graphics falls nicely under that. However, you can also have 3D motion graphics and 2D motion graphics or even a combination of everything.
How has it been, doing motion graphics in Nigeria? Are there a lot of customers for that?
Yes, but the problem is, a problem I found out is, one, the customers don't know where to look, and two, the animators don't know where to find the customers.
Yeah.
But so basically, everybody's in the dark, and they're all reaching out and trying to, but nobody's touching each other. That's a huge problem. And that's what I'm hoping that Animation Nigeria can, finally bridge that gap, because there's work.
Yeah.
I don't let anybody tell you otherwise. There's actually a lot of work to be done. And motion graphics and animation, as long as people are doing adverts, for instance, now, you always find that an element of motion graphics and animation, be it the end frame, the lower third, the way the title is. As long as you have news networks and TV stations, somebody has to be the one doing this is CNN, or this is, you're watching here on TV. There's, down to your phone, the UI, the user interface, how your notification thing comes down, somebody's animating it. Right now, I'm looking at my voice recorder and it's, beeping. Somebody programmed that, somebody animated that. So there's work everywhere. The Netflix logo, somebody animated that. Do you understand? So animation is absolutely everywhere. The problem in Nigeria we have is the gap, you understand, needs to be bridged, because everybody's, I find that I found a situation where I was so busy I couldn't get more work, and a particular script, got to be up to 4 times, because one person will bring it to me and be like, oh, I can't do it, sorry. Another person entirely will bring that same script back to me, because I was the only one they knew that could do it. You understand? And that's bad. It's terrible. It's terrible for me, because I don't have anybody to give it to and say, oh yeah, here's my own gift. You go and take this work. I have maybe 1 or 2 people, and those people are busy. It's terrible for the client, because that client is going to give up and say, well, you know what? I'm not going to do any motion graphics again or animation. There goes that entire thing. So work has gone for somebody. You understand? But if there was a lot of people will be getting so much. There's work. That's the long and short of it. there's work.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Nigerian universities teach animation or any of these in schools. I think the broadest course that is media related is mass comms, and I don't know what happens in mass comms. What do you think about that?
So mass comms doesn't even go anywhere near this thing. Maybe they will hint at it in your final level, and then that's if they do, as a form of, but they don't really know. So I hope that one day we can have a proper school of animation where you collect an actual degree, scroll in hand. Because in that school, you can teach everything. You can teach photography, you can teach little filmmaking in animation, you can teach VFX, you can teach 2D animation, 3D animation, stop motion animation, how to score your animation, how to, music, sound design. Man, 4 years of intense madness and you come out seasoned, able to work on your own, because everybody right now is self-taught and it's terrible. So, companies right now are, that's animation studios right now are doing trainings, and I applaud them for that, because the animation studios themselves, they know they need the manpower, So you do your training and then you hire the best, and those ones get to work for you, and that's fantastic. I'm currently doing a mentorship program where I'm mentoring someone for the next 3 months on how to animate and do a bunch of other motion design stuff. I currently also, in my spare time, because people ask me how I did this thing, in animation. So I bring out 1-minute tutorials on how to do stuff, and it turns out it's helping a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And that's also in little form, but in a very ideal situation, this school will be located somewhere in Lagos or Abuja, bigger school buildings with several classes and tutors and professors, and you come out after 4 years and you can even do a master's and specialize in certain stuff and just go ahead to create your own films and full feature-length animations and short stuff, sell it to streaming services who are looking for content to buy.
Yeah.
And just it's
a
long way to go.
Yeah.
It's a very long road. Very, very long road.
Yeah.
But hopefully one day it will happen.
Yeah. For now, I think it's pretty much been a catch-up game. Like we need to get to that level where people understand the foundations of this thing, and then let's say they study for 4 years and they can actually start pioneering new methods. Like with Pixar, they always they have their own style. They come up with new things. They push the technology and all that. So we need to get to a level where we can start pushing beyond the current kind of boundaries, rather than always trying to play catch up. Okay, I'm trying to copy what they did here. I'm trying to copy. We can't do that for long. It won't be worth it.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah.
Now moving to your studio, OBK, what is your scope? What kind of jobs do you guys do?
Okay, yeah. So like I said in the beginning, motion design, illustration, filmmaking, and that's more in the commercial side of things. So commercials and stuff like that, brand development and content creation. Pretty much it. I get mostly motion design work, followed by film and VFX work. Yeah. That's mostly. I used to do brand development a lot. In fact, a lot of friends, companies today, their logos and their brand stuff, is me and all of that. I think the most interesting jobs I get are the animation, the motion design, VFX. It's because I think my soul has moved past the point where things need to be static, and instead I've moved to the point where I need to make things move.
So like my final question is, like this animation you're doing, this motion graphics you're doing is part of the larger film creative industry, creative sector. What do you want to improve in this larger sector for things to be better?
I would say two things. One, I would really like if more people join this larger sector, as it were. It feels like there's a lot of people, but everybody knows everybody.
Yeah,
everybody knows each other. I had a colleague of my former colleague of mine called me the other day and said. Asking me about telling me about a popular telecommunications company and how that telco wanted to change their directors and that's the film director, the people doing their commercials, the production company, yes. The DOP, the director, scriptwriter, all those things, because it started to feel like all their commercials were looking the same.
Yeah.
You understand? So he was trying to reach out to more people. But the problem with reaching out to people is even if you get a brand new director, that director is probably going to get the same DOP or the same gap, so there's nothing new. So we need more people inside this industry, as it were. The second thing would be the education part. And by education, I mean everybody that needs to be educated. If you want to be part of the industry, you need to be properly educated for it.
Yeah.
If you are a parent or guardian supporting someone that needs to or wants to enter the industry, you need to be educated to know and support. You understand? their dreams are not useless and they know exactly what they want. So you need to be educated enough to know what they're trying to do so you can support them adequately. Clients need to be educated on the craft. It's not beans. You don't just lick the screen and the thing will come up. It is work. It is a lot of work. So just basic education about the whole thing, or for all people, for everybody.
Yeah, and I think it also starts from when people are young, when they're in school. Like, I'm sure maybe you might know some friends where they were sketching in their notebooks in primary school and they were beaten by the teachers, and these creative abilities could have been channeled and developed, and all those years wasted. So I think not everybody's going to be an engineer, not everybody's going to be a doctor, lawyer. Like, we need to open up like people's prospects and all that.
Yes, that's you're preaching to the choir. That's exactly what it is. It just needs to, and you will always see it from when a child is young. You always, like you mentioned, you always see it. How can you nurture? If at the end of the day the child says, I don't want to draw again, let that be the child's decision. You understand? But if you are seeing it, that child is drawing, that child is playing that instrument, that child is, just buy all the things you need to buy and support that child until the child gets tired. And if you are lucky, the child will never get tired and become someone inexplicably famous, and then who is going to enjoy it? It's you now, because they'll be thanking you stage, crying, and say, I'd like to thank my dad and my mom, So,
you need the passion to start with. Then some people are talented. So you also nurture that talent and also put in the dedication. When all these three come together, then it's kind of just normal life for the person, and then they enjoy this thing, they spend a lot of time. All that time you spend on it, you start finding out things that if you are just kind of straight to business, you wouldn't have. So
exactly.
We need to encourage people to explore these things. Yeah. How can people find you?
So my personal Instagram account is at The Smiling Hat. That's THE Smiling HAT. It's and then my Freakthefuckout handle is at Freakthefuckout. My website is www.obkstudios.mobi. LinkedIn, I don't know why anybody will go and find me there, but in case you want to give me work there, LinkedIn is Kanso Ogbolu.
All right, thank you, Kanso, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We have come to the end of this episode. Please remember to leave a rating and a review. You can send in your feedback and questions on social media. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SelegofFilm, and the podcast also on Instagram and Twitter at the Naija Film Pod. See you on the next episode. Have a good one.